speak too much because I don't want to fuck myself. But let's say the Halise put out. Never mind.
Yeah, look, speak freely here, Carl. We got your back.
No. He's
Not that
on the
he's not
ground
allowed
there.
to speak because of powers that be that are monitoring. Talk, okay, talk as if it's Gaza.
What did you say about what I put out?
Got some live video.
No,
I got some
you
video
put a
from
video. You
Nablus.
put a video in the morning about you saw a big building like with
Like a hotel. Yeah, like a
so
hotel.
yeah, I can confirm the content. Let's say yeah.
I'm on the roof now, in southern Lebanon. I'm waiting to see if any missiles drop in northern Israel. I'll share it with you guys live.
Did we lose Didi? Ray, listen.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to come back.
Yeah, no, Ray. No, Ray, listen. I'm just going to mute. Ray, no leaflets, no activism, no long stories about fairyland, la la land, or anything like that. We're going to talk on topic today. Otherwise, I promise you, I'm bringing you back up again. Everyone else, please.
I heard reports that 30 missiles were detected.
Explosions in northern Israel right now. I can feel it, but I can't see anything.
You got a front row seat
Four
into Tel Aviv.
four refueling planes just took off from Ben Guardian in the last minutes.
Heavy impacts in the north of Israel.
So, in your view,
No idea where.
In your view, would you see everything from where you are in Lebanon?
No, I can't see anything right now. Yesterday I did, but I can literally feel the explosions, the impacts.
Wow, like how far actually is it? Is it
Sorry,
like
Simon,
really
I'm
far?
just going to interject 1 second. There's a lot of breaking news here. I'm going to read it out. It's I don't know who muted. Yeah, it's all in the nest above. Israel says 15 missiles were launched this time. No confirmation yet. I think I read that one out already, didn't I, earlier? Reports of Tel Aviv being hit right now. Tel Aviv is being hit right now. Let me remove some of these. They're duplicated.
Direct impact in the Pardes Hana area of Tel Aviv.
Okay, NSA. Remember what we said when I'm giving breaking news? 0 interruptions. Remember? Because I have to give the breaking news.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
No problem. Okay, so let me just start again because I tried to fly through it as quickly as possible. Let me just delete some of the ones that I've already done. Give me a second so that it's a nice clean nest. And let me do it really quickly. I did the 4 refueling planes. Missiles were launched, no confirmation yet. We did that one as well. Reported loud explosions in Tel Aviv right now. Breaking missiles in the skies of Israel right now. Let me have a look. And Iran says it targeted.
Just right quick, Khaleesi, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think the space is glitching. Okay, so guys, if the space crashes, Khaleesi will put it up on Suleiman's profile right away. Okay.
Siren go off here in Amman about just over 5 minutes ago, perhaps, and we saw a few missiles streaking through the air on their way to Israel. There's just very initial reports are coming in from Israeli media of debris or missiles falling in central Israel, perhaps in the Jerusalem area.
I can't hear anything, Simon. Okay, just let me read the last.
Well, I think somebody look, the space is glitching because it's unmuting my mic by itself, and I think it just muted everyone by itself too. So
yeah, we just got unmuted.
And a lot of people are dropping, like me bringing them up, and they drop right away. So guys, just be patient, okay? And if it crashes, just be ready, okay? Or turn your notifications on for Suleiman because we'll be opening up right away.
Yeah, guys, listen, please make sure you follow Suleiman. And next to the follow button, there's a bell icon. Press the bell icon and click all posts. Just press the button for all posts, because we will start back up straight away if it crashes for any reason at all. Right? So please, please, please do that. Right, guys, breaking news. Iran says it targeted Israeli military bases with missiles and warns that attacks will continue. And they actually did that as a broadcast on TV, so you can see it there in the nest really quickly. Guys, I'm gonna have to just fly through this because there's so much freaking news. Breaking news: Khan News estimates that 20 missiles were launched by Iran towards Israel. Breaking news: impacts reported south and Jerusalem area. Oh my God, we've got some freaking images coming out. This is crazy. Breaking: skies in northern Israel are filled with missiles. I'm not joking. Freaking hell, it looks like like we have fireworks night. It looks like fireworks night. My God, that is next level crazy. Guys, that video I've just put in the nest. Let me clear everything else from the nest so you can see what I'm talking about. Because there's a lot of stuff in the nest now. Oh, there we go. So you'll see it. It's the first post on your left-hand side. When you look at that video. Everything else I'm reading out is on Suleiman's page. You can find it. I'm going to remove everything else and just leave that video in the nest so you can see it. This one, look at that, what I put up there. That is crazy. The next one is West Bank right now as missiles head to Israel. Look at that. People in West Bank, the Palestinians are going to be like, whoa. Missiles in over Jerusalem now. There's another video. You can see it. And I think there's another picture there of missiles in the skies of Israel right now. So we're caught up, guys. We're caught up. Who was actually speaking? Oh, NSA, go ahead.
Callus, real quick, I can confirm the explosion from someone that is actually in a bunker right now. Really, really loud. Like the freaking roof was like shaking and everything. Tel Aviv.
Yeah, you hit everything I was going to say. There, especially in Jerusalem, Jenin, all the occupied areas were hit. Palestinians are cheering. A lot of the videos are coming from occupied areas.
30 rockets have struck in 2 minutes. That's Israeli media. And that's in
That's
different
exactly what I
cities.
was gonna say. Yep, 30 rockets, guys. 30 in 2 minutes.
Israelis in Israel cannot even download a freaking VPN or anything. I'm the one who has to have a freaking Israeli phone.
I don't even see any air defense active at all.
Guys, I'm going to say something, right? And this is completely off
No,
topic.
interceptor missile did blow
Just,
up in the sky.
I just,
Sorry, in Zarani. It just failed.
who is that? Is that you, Truth?
Oh yeah, it was just a quick update.
Yeah, but Truth, when I'm about to say something and I'm like, it's important, then you just have to literally pause rather than rush out your words. Like, it's really hard running this after 40 hours of no sleep because you just, you lose your train of thought. Do you know what I mean?
Shit, I didn't know you've been going 40 hours straight. Peace and blessings.
No, I don't need peace and blessings. I just need muted my key a little bit when I'm about to speak. That's it. That'll be peace and blessings for me. Deal?
You got it. You got it.
So I'm going to say it. I wasn't going to say that, but I'm going to say it now. Truth, you said something earlier, right, about bots and stuff. I'll tell you what's really interesting. I've been noticing this. Every time we're almost catching up with Mario space jumps in blocks of 200 or 400. Literally.
He's buying those.
Like in blocks of 200 and 400. That's not normal. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's 100% botting. Like he doesn't even have like any glitches on his space or anything. That's usually botted.
Yeah, he just brings in a new porn star to sit in the audience normally, and then a load of people come.
Well, I'd rather have a glitchy old battered space than have that in our space. Thank you very much.
Well, I thought he was sponsored by OnlyFans, Simon. Aren't they the #1 donor to APAC?
Wait, I think Didi has her hand up because the
I
space is
can't
glitching.
see
I don't
it.
think
I
we can.
can't see it. Didi, jump in.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Didi,
Sorry,
NSA, if you've
guys.
got breaking news, just jump in, jump in. Oh, May's welcome,
Yep, so
May.
they're threatening. Sorry, guys. They're threatening. Iran media just put out that they're going to barrage even more missiles during Trump's speech when he has it.
I don't know. This is
That's
something I don't know
that's
if you heard
the
it.
ultimate F you to Trump.
Yup.
David's boomerang was causing some self-inflicted damage too. That's kind of glorious.
You know, when Truth speaks, his mic is muted and I can only hear his voice, and that's a little bit freaky. That's why I was asking, like, who is it? Who's talking?
Yeah, it's glitching like that. It does that to me too when he's speaking.
It's definitely glitching.
Yeah, my mic
Okay,
unmutes
maybe I'll ask
itself.
Suleiman to reset it.
Kelly's here, you speaking?
I'm about to put some news in the nest right now. So guys, this is big news. Major hits in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Now look at that footage coming out. And there's another one that I'm putting in right now. Rockets are impacting Tel Aviv right now. Direct impacts in Tel Aviv right now. This is crazy, absolutely crazy. All of these videos I'm putting in the nest. Iranian missiles fall in central Israel. It's pandemonium.
I got breaking news that Mayor Air Force Base was struck. Heavy censorship on it.
Modine, yeah, MOWDWEN. That's right. Confirmed.
No.
I'm hearing that the air defense system, sorry guys,
MAO.
air defense systems have completely failed in this
Yeah,
attack. Completely.
MAOR. Is that the same one? What you were talking about? That's not the spelling I
No,
got.
that's different. I got MO. Maybe they just spelled it differently. MOWDWEN. It's literally muting me when it wants. MOWDEEN. Whatever. It might be a different base. I wonder if Trump's still going to give a speech.
Well, I tell you what, it's pretty.
Guys, if you haven't followed Solim, oh, I'm sorry, Simon, because it's glitching so bad. We're all getting muted randomly, so I got a really big fear that the space is about to go down. Make sure you're following everyone on the panel, Soleiman, Khaleesi, Public. Make sure you're following everybody. Make sure that you have the alerts turned on. In case this goes down, they're open within not even 1 minute. So make sure you have everything on. Follow the hosts.
Yeah, look, we're going head to.
If you remember, yesterday there was reports of long-range radar hit in the same area, and now their missile defense is totally failing. There must have been some serious damage to that long-range radar yesterday.
Israeli residents have described the strikes as if it was like an earthquake. Israeli media. So this wasn't a normal missile that they've used previously. Obviously, something new, like they said they would. And I've got images all the way from, let's just say, much farther. It's just manually muting me, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And
It's
you just threw
hilarious how I
100.
just did that. Anyway, I've got some images from it. They can see fires from many, many miles away. It's huge.
Yeah, I got people messaging me from Jordan who say they saw like it's huge as well.
It's a crescendo, right, Simon? No big deal. Today's the end, right?
Well, we'll see. You know what my next thing is? It's like, is it still a crescendo if US joins?
Hi guys, I just wanted to say hi. I'll be fully active and ready to go in 5 minutes. So whoever needs a break, I'm here. I'm on.
Ain't nobody taking a break right now. This is like
I'm
episode.
trying to catch up on what's going on.
We got Trump coming
I
out soon. He's at some stage. He's going to do his address to the world.
finally, like right when we're in the middle of freaking war. He didn't even decide to tell us. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
he's going to give his address, which is we just signed a tariff deal with the UK.
Right. What was up with the whole airspace of Iran? Because there was actually another, what I saw in it was like Fox News. I think was it Lindsey Graham? I screen recorded it. I just haven't posted it yet. Where they said that Israel had locked down Iran's airspace. I'm like, no way. But I'm seeing on here that it was U.S. that did it. Is Simon talking?
I don't know, mate. Sorry.
Oh, good. Somebody in the comments said, "Where's May's love?" And they asked like 1 minute ago. I'm like, right here. Hello. It's weird.
Maze, have you got family in Iran?
Say what? Yes, I do. Well, I have family, but my family that went there, they went there to handle, it was crazy the timing to handle some estate stuff. And they went to Tabriz, but
There's some crazy shit that just keeps muting us as you
I
speak.
know I just got muted again. That's weird. What did you hear?
You were saying they were sorting out some paperwork, and it was crazy.
Yeah, they went there to handle estate work. They went to Tabriz and then but they got out. They got out.
Okay, so everyone's safe on your side, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I mute myself, it like unmutes the other speaker, so be careful of hot mics when you're speaking.
Okay, so this is from Iranian state media again, IRNA. They use that type of missile I described before. It's the Qaibar Shakan type. So that's the type of missile that has 2,000 kilometer range and can handle a payload of 1,500 kilograms of explosive TNT to do, massive explosions. So that's, to put that in perspective, that's at least 3 times more than the other types of missiles they've used. So it's definitely some shock and awe in these strikes. And the media blackouts maintained.
I'm just anticipating. Whose mic is it? I'm just anticipating the Trump speech like a lot right now. But
It keeps
Simon,
unmuting me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
oh
There's
no,
a
no, you're
lot of
fine, Mace.
casualties. There's a lot of casualties. First responders are on their way to 5 different locations after
I
receiving
think
reports of the
I
strikes.
think this attack actually
Channel
happened
12
while
Hebrew News.
Trump was on the phone with Netanyahu at the same time when this attack was happening.
Everyone be ultra careful with hot mics because there's a bug when people unmute themselves. When you mute yourself, it unmutes somebody else. So just be careful what you say.
I don't know why that cracks me up when you say that.
Man, you got to be careful. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. Y'all would just probably hear me cursing a lot, but yeah.
All right, this is from Ali Khamenei. The Shiites will know what this means. The account of the leader of the revolution in the Islamic Republic, Mr. Ali Khamenei, on X. The battle begins in the name of Haydar. Ali, with the sword of Zulfiqar, has returned to open the gate of Khaybar. Sounds like a declaration of some kind of war.
Is there anyone who? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I would like to know exactly what that means, but yeah,
Tell me it's not a religious war again.
I have my thoughts, and I'll just leave it there.
Oof. Yeah, all the images I'm seeing, Tel Aviv's on fire, like more so than yesterday. Jafar wants to come up. He's got an update.
I'm bringing him up. Actually,
Okay, so it's a reference to when Imam Ali won over the Jews in Khaybar. He's saying he will win over the Jews in occupied Palestine. That's the reference that, again, Sayyid Ali Khamenei just made.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for bringing me up again. This is why sometimes I keep referring to the ideology and theology of...
Sirens, though, went off. Air raid sirens went off about 15 minutes ago, and we understand that there's been Israel and Jerusalem.
Guys, be careful of these mics. It keeps unmuting me.
Yep, same deal.
If I get muted, just let me know. So just to explain Sayyid Ali Khamenei's tweet. Long story short, Islamic history.
Let him play that. Let him play that. That news briefing real quick, and then just nobody unmute your mic, because it seems like every time we push the mute or the mic button, it mutes or unmutes one of us. So let Simon play that, and then we'll continue.
You want to hear the news? You want to hear the live news? I wasn't meant to play it. It just unmuted me, but I can play it. Tell me if you want me to stop.
Some are getting through Israel's defense systems.
Yeah, and talk to us about those that have been getting through. I know it's there's a ban on reporting on attacks that Israel considers on sensitive sites. But what do we know about the impact of Iran's strikes these past 5 days?
Yeah, Israel doesn't say exactly how many missiles get through. It considers that information sensitive. We know that 18,000 Israelis have filed compensation because of damage caused by the missiles, and about 1,600 are living in hotels. And there's been 80 incidents as well in the occupied West Bank, normally from falling shrapnel. Palestinians less easy to quickly protect themselves because there isn't the network of shelters that there is available to the Israelis. But those that get through, as we've seen from the pictures in the last few days, particularly to Israel, when they have a direct hit, they're devastating. 24 people have been killed since Friday night.
I can't hear anybody. Hussein dropped. Oh yeah, sucks. Guys, I appreciate the patience, because I am bringing people up, but you guys keep getting dropped for some reason. We're supposed to have a few more mic slots in this, but yeah, just appreciate the patience. If you get dropped, just come back up, but we'll try to bring you back up right away.
Yeah, be careful. We're seriously getting Zaire attacked. They're doing some serious glitches here. People keep muting, unmuting. So everybody on the speaker side, just be careful of your mics. Make sure you're not saying anything you don't want anyone to hear. We've got a lot of people here. Man, this is like the Pegasus thing, isn't it? Like, it can just suddenly start unmuting you and broadcast you to 10,000 people without you intending.
Yeah, luckily I'm at home today.
Nobody go to the bathroom. Leave the space if you do.
That's funny.
Yeah, leave your phone outside. Shouldn't be taking your phone in the bathroom anyway.
I agree.
It's unhygienic.
I just want to quickly explain Khamenei's tweet 20 minutes ago. So he said, in the name of Haidar, the battle begins. Haidar is another name for Imam Ali. And when we speak about Iran, we have to speak about Shia Islam. And the next in line after the Prophet Muhammad is Imam Ali. And then the next line is, Ali returns to Khaybar with his Zulfiqar. Khaybar is an area which was basically created by the Jews within Saudi Arabia.
I think he muted you if you're still speaking. Did we lose him?
Who was speaking?
Jafar.
Yeah, Jafar. Yeah, Jafar was speaking. Jafar, you know it mutes
Okay.
yourself. It mutes you. It mutes by yourself as you're speaking. So I don't know if you were finished or not.
We will get
Yes.
this reset, guys. We will get it. You know what it is? It's an attack on the space, and we know what's going on there, don't we? Oh, right. Let me put some stuff in the nest, guys. I've got some dynamite videos coming out. Look at this stuff. Look at this. It is like, we call it bonfire night, like fireworks night. What do you call it? What is it for you? July the 4th, is it?
Yeah, fireworks July the 4th. Yeah.
See, I know. I'm not joking. Like, it literally looks like the brightest sunset in some of these. This is crazy. Like, so much for so much for Netanyahu saying, I don't want footage coming out. Well, you can restrict your people in your countries, but you can't restrict the people in the neighboring countries. They can take pictures of the sky whenever they want to. So put it in your pipe and smoke it. And they'll send us those pictures of the sky. Isn't that right?
Yes, and we will. We're grateful for those pictures. Thank you for those people taking those pictures.
Yeah, nice one, Casey. So, like a blanket thank you to everybody. We are grateful. We're in it together.
You know, what the hell would we be doing if it wasn't for X Spaces, like going through this whole thing, honestly? Can you imagine what it was like in World War II when everyone was going to the radio and going to the cinema each week to figure out what's going on in the war?
Yeah.
Well, and Simon, for what it's worth, that's why they're looking to pass laws against certain speech and trying to restrict conversations and, you know, freedom of speech, but not reach and all these other things. It's because the truth is unstoppable. And that's the white pill amidst all of this insanity, is that there is no opportunity for these people to endlessly oppress the most obvious of truths and to keep up this ruse. And that's, like I always say, that's why these spaces, these conversations are so critically important. But you're absolutely right. And Simon, for what it's worth, I think that's why the boomer generation, whatever you want to call kind of the generation that followed the great generation that went out and fought a lot of those wars, they were so completely corrupted psychologically and completely incapable of recognizing, even to this very day, they push back because they'd rather live in the matrix, so to say. And so I'm just, you know, as much as big tech is very codified in the hands of one group of people, at least we have the X spaces. And so God love you for calling that out.
Yeah, can you imagine what Hezbollah was on the radio every week during like the local propaganda?
Well, and don't forget, for what it's worth, that one space I'll never forget. This individual who we did a space, and he basically brought in a bunch of screenshots that he had pulled from, if I'm not mistaken, saying like LexisNexis, which is like a news and legal database. And he pulled all this content forward with World War II headlines talking about how German submarines had launched an attack on Los Angeles prior to Pearl Harbor and all this other just complete and utter lies that were pushed out by the media about air raids in New York and all this other. I mean, they were doing the same exact nonsense going all the way back to World War II, and you know, then we got to ask who is they and all the other questions that I would push to. But how would anybody know anything different when that was their only access to media, was either a couple radio broadcasts or a couple newspapers that were largely controlled by, you know, maybe people that didn't always have their best interests at heart. And in case
By
anybody
the
wants
way,
those, I'll put that into the purple pill for you, Khaleesi.
by the way, real quick, I was also told from Israel, Tel Aviv, there was somebody trying to break the rules and take pictures from top of a building. Apparently, that guy got shot. Cannot confirm. I can just believe my source. There's another person that says that they're not sure if it was a rubber bullet or an actual bullet, but definitely got shot. What a fucking democracy, right? Only democracy in the Middle East. Yeah, right. he starts shooting at people for taking pictures. That is not a democratic country anymore. I'm sorry.
Exactly, Josie. I just want to ask, what did somebody say about putting something in the nest? Oh, in the
Oh, sorry, not the nest. Into the purple pill. I'm just putting a thread that was made on to Simon's comment about media manipulation. It's a whole bunch of newspaper clips from World War II prior to the U.S.'s entry into the war, where the media was basically telling people that Los Angeles had, if I'm not mistaken, either Los Angeles or San Francisco had been bombed by German submarines, and that New York had received aerial attacks from the German. All this other stuff that obviously we know is not true, but that the newspapers back in that day and age, they were just lying to the general public, trying to get American sentiments.
Yeah, guys, I just want to go through the breaking news really, really quickly. It's in the nest. Israeli defense systems are failing again. You can see it right there. The missiles are landing. They're landing straight from the air, straight down to the ground, or their target, should I say. Crazy scenes from Tel Aviv right now. It's raining missiles. Oh my God, it's literally raining missiles. That's not a joke. Ian, look at that. Look at that second tweet in the nest, right? That is fire. One of the impacts in Tel Aviv moments ago, I think it's gone straight into a building. Oh, it has. Oh my God, it has. It's gone straight into the middle of that building. Tel Aviv is burning right now. You can see where the missiles have landed on the floor. I will keep putting them. The news is coming really thick and fast, guys. I just, I'm really struggling to even keep up with it. There's another one. I'm just putting in an interceptor missile fell in Tarkumia in the West Bank. So you've got that one there as well. Please share them all. Please get them out, and we'll keep getting them posted. Mike, back to you guys.
Yeah, their
Khaleesi,
radar absolutely failed them again.
Khaleesi, I usually don't care about my follower count, but guess what it is right now? 911.
What?
Couldn't make it up if I tried.
Gee.
That's so funny. I can't even tell what I've posted and not posted. I just like I'm seeing so many videos I'm put out or what I haven't put out. This is crazy.
I hear that the industrial zone in Nazareth, where the fire was caused by Iranian missile, contains factories and laboratories that manufacture high-tech products.
Did you get the one of the missile interceptors malfunctioned and is hitting Israeli soil?
You know, it's called the instead of David, what do you call it? David's sling? It's called David's boomerang now.
Yeah, apparently it's like raining freaking missiles in Tel Aviv. That's what they hear from the bunkers.
Well, one thing the Iranians cannot be accused of is not being able to keep a promise, right?
Fires erupting in the Hasharon area in central occupied Palestine.
So guys, I don't know what's going on with Twitter, right? But a lot of the things I was trying to post just failed. And they ended up with as failed posts in my draft. It's crazy. So now I'm having to put them out all at once.
It's because you called it Twitter rather than X.
Are y'all hitting emojis? I feel like some of y'all emojis are glitching too. But anyway, yeah,
Your
or maybe
emotions are not right digitally. I'm just kidding.
no. I'm just
Your
all
emotions are
the
glitching.
no, well, anyway. So probably it's not posting because it doesn't want. I mean, it's probably all part of the censorship. They're probably doing a cleanup on the app again.
No, they got some next level shit. My mic keeps unmuting, and like you got to be really careful. It's not even
Look,
a
I'm
glitch.
telling you,
That's
I
some
noticed
Yeah,
a
me
interference.
too.
pattern. Like when Khaleesi mutes, it unmutes me. When she doesn't, I'm telling you, there's
Yeah,
certain
same
patterns. Pay
here.
attention to the patterns of who it is that unmutes you.
Man, when you
Hussein
Yeah,
just dropped
Callister keeps
again.
unmuting me. Every time she unmutes, it unmutes me. It's so funny.
it ain't funny, man. That's dangerous.
It unmuted again. What the fuck?
I'm hearing that more lit missiles have been launched from Iran in addition to the ones that just landed.
So if you're in the room, we're all waiting for Trump. Trump announced that he's going to be giving a speech soon. We don't have any indication of when, but we're waiting for that. As soon as it comes, we'll live broadcast it through.
I don't know if you guys could hear me. Did you guys hear me that there's more launches that are happening right now?
Yeah, we did. We're just trying to keep up with the news. We're listening to everything though. Promise you we're listening to everything. So guys, I'm putting some stuff in the nest. Explosions now heard in Tehran and the city of Karaj in the west. There are, oh my God, there's literally videos coming out and it says Tel Aviv will collapse soon. Tel Aviv will collapse soon. Tel Aviv continues to burn. In one of these videos I'm putting in the nest, you can see all the firefighters out. And they're going crazy. And Tel Aviv is burning right now. Let me clear some of the stuff out of the nest and then this is
I'm seeing pictures of hypersonics hitting huge blast.
Josie, are you hearing any of this?
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Like live over there, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, I'm what the? Sorry, unmute. What the heck? I'm in communication with someone. I'm not gonna tell you much, but I have a kosher phone. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I hear.
It's you, Josie. You keep on muting me, man, with your kosher phone.
It's the magic of the kosher phone.
Oh my God,
There's a rabbi
you're
inside.
using your Jewish power on my mute button.
But Jewish power cannot be used against other Jewish power. Just saying. But you
Right.
know what? Sorry. No, I shouldn't even say that because then that's feeding
The
into
rabbi, I've
the
proven you
trolling.
wrong, Mace.
So they're asking. Somebody asked in the comments. I don't know if you guys happen to know when he's supposed to be streaming. Did he say a time, or are we waiting for that? I mean, or I'm sorry, to stream what Trump is going to announce.
I heard that Trump is not going to give a meeting. That they announced that there was not going to be. I heard earlier that like an hour ago when this was happening that the White House somebody announced that Trump was not going to give a press conference.
Is that on the
Well,
official?
Oh, all the transparency that everybody loves so much is what they
no,
voted
wait a
for.
minute. No, but hold on,
Sorry,
Maze.
let me
There were
stop
like
trolling.
but there were like 8 outlets like saying that he was gonna give a speech. I never saw the take backsies. Like I never saw where
I,
they said he wasn't
I
gonna
believe
speak
it's a.
anymore.
Yeah, I believe it was a White House that said that, and I think I put it in the purple pill. If you scroll down, I got so much new stuff coming in, but I believe it's the White House staff that announced he was not going to give a press conference.
Like
What the?
Why was Christy Nome rushed to the hospital? I saw that on your profile.
Because women
Botox
shouldn't be in
overdose.
charge of anything and they should be at home raising kids. So God showed her.
Sorry. God damn it. The sticky mute on.
Yeah, but you did.
Guys, there's
Approximately
more missiles are
Not
heading
an
towards
update.
Israel now.
Hold on,
10
Iran
Khaleesi's
is
ballistics.
not
talking, Auntie.
done. There
Khaleesi's
are
talking.
more missiles heading towards Israel now. And there's another breaking news. I put a picture up in the nest. More ballistic missiles have been launched from Isfahan. They will reach Israel in a few minutes. Freaking hell. Some more breaking news. Israeli media reports more ballistic missiles have been launched. We're not going to be getting any sleep soon. Sorry, whoever was speaking, because guys, I'm not looking
It's
at the
me.
screen when I'm looking at the tweets, so I can't see who's speaking. Go ahead.
Here's me, real quick. Another update. Iranian military spokesperson. Our next missile salvo will include almost 2,000 missiles, at least 20 times the size of the last salvo. So when they say Tel Aviv is going to collapse, including the current regime in power, they're not messing around.
Really quickly, I see a post that says the National Security Council will not make a statement following the meeting it took. Is that what the one you're talking about, or are you talking about one specifically about Trump?
That's the one that I was talking about.
Is that the same address, do you think, Mace, or do you think these are two different things?
I think they're two different things. I think that one was specifically around the meeting they had. If there was going to be.
I think that they were waiting to see what was going to happen after all those announcements. I think everything's fluid right now.
Hold on, what Truth just said? Did you say 2,000 20 times more powerful? Is that what you're saying?
20 times more than the last salvo. More powerful? Yeah, maybe. Iran's not messing around, Simon. That was not quite the crescendo you were expecting, maybe, or maybe it is. We'll see.
Maybe it
We'll see,
is.
right,
Maybe
Simon?
it is. This is about destroying Israel. Maybe that's the plan.
Truth, I wanted to ask you something. Can you hear me?
The interceptor that misfired apparently hit the IDF barracks.
Hey, Simon, maybe this was Trump's plan all along to finally dispose of Zionism in Israel, like you said.
It's definitely not Trump's plan. If anything, it's BlackRock's plan.
Come on, man.
Guys,
Forge your
there's another
chest.
tweet. I'm just putting it in the nest now. This is what, let me clear some of the stuff up. The one that's just going to go in, let me clear some of this out, is what Tel Aviv looks like tonight. This is what Tel Aviv looks like tonight. There's a picture there. You can have a look at it. It's crazy.
Truth, I wanted to ask you, how come, and I don't know, maybe this is strategic, but how come Iran hasn't used any of their fighter jets, or they have? I'm not sure.
One, it doesn't need to use his fighter jets. Why put them in harm's way? You know, you save that for when you actually need it. Two, you minimize your.
It muted you,
Wait,
Truth.
did we cut out? Truth, you got Zio attacked.
I know, man. They don't want me talking, I guess. Look, it's expensive to send out fighter jets in the air. Why bother when you've got missiles and drones that can.
Muted again.
They keep beating me. I don't know. These
That's
Jeets hate my
crazy.
guts, I guess. These Jeets behind the scenes. Screw you. Stop. Stop. Please stop. Stop explaining. Anyway, it's expensive to send out fighter jets in the air that aren't as may not be as effective as a hypersonic missile. Why keeps muting me? Why bother when you can send a salvo of missiles and drones that can be more effective than your at a fraction of the cost?
Yeah, this app is glitching. It keeps unmuting me when Truth when Truth talks.
Three
Yeah,
times I got
hopefully
muted.
Solomon will recheck it when he comes back. Guys, I put a video in the nest, right? While the Iron Dome falls, air defense is doing its best in Tehran. Look at that. Look at that video I've just put in the nest. Literally. Let me take the other one out. Look at that one that I've just put in the nest.
Guys,
You
make
tell
sure
me
you're
that is not.
reposting the post that she put up there so that we can at least get out what the real videos are that's coming in.
Yeah, thanks for that, Maze. Like literally, are you telling me that does not look like July the 4th?
It does.
Look at
It's
this.
strange. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before.
Oh my God, this thing keeps unmuting me. I'm gonna cycle back down. This is crazy.
It's happening to everyone, Brother Hussein, so I don't think that it matters.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the gym grunting. I don't need you guys to hear me. I'll just cycle down.
Thank you for your service, Hussein.
I think if you lock your screen, it stops unmuting.
I keep looking for this Trump address, but there's no official report that he's like. I can't find where CNN or Fox or whoever said that he was going to address the nation. I found one tweet from some Twitter site that said it would be at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So now I just don't even know now.
Trump's off to the synagogue instead to go pray to Hashem to for Iran to have mercy on Israel. That's all he can do now is pray.
Rockets have been intercepted. Freaking. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
For anyone who's joining us, thank you so much. Oh, I've got some more breaking news very quickly. It says more explosions heard in Tel Aviv moments ago. Literally moments ago. More explosions heard in Tel Aviv moments ago. I am putting some of these in the nest, guys, so please do share them. Please retweet them. Please get the news out there. This is crazy. But for anyone who's joining us, thank you so much for joining. We are going to be running the space. We're not going to be all silent in our own phones, but we're just trying to get the news out at the moment. So really appreciate you. Please do give Suleiman a follow, give the panel a follow. Make sure you've got your notifications set on for Suleiman. You heard us say how much this app is glitching, and it is glitching crazy. So there is a very high likelihood that if it crashes, then we will reopen up straight away, which is why it's important that you've got your notifications on. Otherwise, you may not be able to see the space. It is targeted. It's Zio's targeting it all the freaking time. They're botting it all the time. It crashed today. Some of you were with us at that time when it crashed. And we don't want to go through that again. So, yeah. Someone's listening to Myron and they've got a hot mic. It's crazy. Brother Public, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Could you just bring up some people? Because I think some people are requesting.
Dr. Michael, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I just, Casey and Simon and Brother Public, I just, give me 5 minutes and I'll be back. And Maze, of course.
Sure. We're here. I'm over here just looking to see about this speech. I feel like I'm going to be mad. I don't think he's going to address the nation. I can't take this man anymore.
He'll come out and start.
Like, I don't know how people don't get mad about this anymore. Like, I just, like, by now he should have addressed, like, he's already made all the moves to signal what's going to be done. Why can't the American people get a respectful address at least? Or a first, they're starting to make me, like, feel like, and this is going to be warped, right, Simon, where at least the Bush administration put together some sort of story to tell the people about weapons of mass destruction, actually address the people. We know it was a lie, but like this time it's a lie too, you know, the way they're doing it. And then they're just like, but we're still going to do whatever we want. And we're not even going to talk to the American people at all. We're just doing our thing. F you.
Because
The funny thing is, it's just the same story.
Because unpredictability is dangerous to your enemy.
He's doing everybody a favor. He's just gonna lie and gaslight and do what he wants to do, what he's told to do anyway. Who cares if he communicates it first?
No. I get what you're saying, Truth. But that's still okay. I get that. That's a very base take to have about it, but that's not what this is. This is supposed to at least be a farce. I know what I'm asking for. Like, come on. I mean, it just shows you just the massive disrespect. I mean, everything does, right? But like,
Cassie,
how do you not?
Cassie,
It's Casey. My bad. It's Casey. I actually hate that
Trump's
one.
foreign policy has been a disaster and just complete fail, utter a disaster and a fail. Who really cares what he has to say? He has no say, no
I
agency to
never
stop
said that I cared
anything.
what he had to say. I don't know why
I'm
people
just
can't
saying
get
he's
this. Like,
failed.
it's
I understand
decorum.
that. Decorum. You think Trump has decorum now?
It's not
Mr.
that, but
McDonald's
like,
and
come on. Like,
KFC.
all right,
He
never
can't.
But
mind.
Cassie,
Never
It's a
mind.
lack of. I know what Casey's saying.
He
I
caters
know what
My
official
name is
White House.
Casey. I'm sorry.
He
It's like,
caters
it's
official White
Casey.
House events with McDonald's and KFC. You think Trump has decorum just because he wears a suit
I never
to
said he had
cover up his
decorum, Truth.
roles?
I don't know why, but all right, it's okay. You know what? Just don't worry about it. All right.
Oh, I see what that girl Casey's saying. Truth teller, she's saying that
Casey's like,
this guy
how dare he
genocide
not call
Trump.
because he's 5 minutes late? I'm so peeved.
This guy genocider Trump lacks integrity. We pay all these tax dollars. The government can't even tell us the truth. They go behind our back. They spend all our tax dollars to go massacre people and go bomb people, go bomb this country, go bomb that country. It's all on behalf of Israel. So I see exactly where she's coming from. Donald Trump, all of them, the whole administration, all of them, the last 40 of them, all of them. They suck. They lack integrity. They lack transparency. There is no transparency. And these people talk about cryptocurrency and decentralization. It's laughable. There's no transparency. There's no integrity. There is no decentralization in any of their systems.
But wouldn't you think that is the lack of predictability that could make him somehow dangerous to who his adversaries are? Like, just I'm playing devil's advocate here.
It's pretty obvious what's happens next. Either he strikes directly or he doesn't. It's binary.
Yep.
Hey, Truth, I got a question for you. This is rather current events because
Ian, please
if
do me a favor. Just hold that question 1 second, and I am going to I'm so freaking confused. I don't even know what I'm doing with this stuff. I'm going to put something in the nest, just for people to share. This is a bit of joy for us to share. So, just a couple of tweets I'm going to put in, and then I'm going to give the mic right back to Ian. Somebody's mic's open. I can't even complain about that because the mics are just doing their own little dance. But Palestinians in the West Bank are celebrating in the streets with an Iranian missile booster. I'm so happy for them. They've suffered so much under this as well. They've got a frigging big old Iranian missile booster. Look at the video in the nest, and they're like driving around with it. They're celebrating. Somehow, so happy for them. And there's another one saying more missile launches from Iran moments ago, and you can see them just lit up. The whole of the Middle East is lit up tonight, guys. It's on fire. But the fire is only landing in one place, and that is in Israel. Go ahead, Ian. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, so I got a curious one for you, and it's rather current events because within the last hour or two, I've now seen this come out from a half dozen different, let's just call them prominent Zionist accounts, who are all of a sudden posting up their admiration for the Pahlavi family, I think is how that would be properly pronounced, and it's rather curious because
It's Pahlavi, but go ahead. Yeah.
Who cares? The guy's a clown. Go ahead, Ian.
I always like to lead with my ignorance on things just to be transparent. But here's the thing that's really curious, and I'll be curious for Truth's thoughts on this family, because news has it that just in the last couple days, the guy's granddaughter got married in a quote unquote interfaith marriage to a rather prominent American Jewish family. What do you know? So I find it rather curious that all these pro-Zionist influencers are all celebrating this former leader literally within the same week that his daughter gets married to this prominent Jewish family. I just find the timing of it obviously not just ironic, but perhaps telling. So I figured I'd just ask Truth if he has any thoughts or information on this family, the leader, and kind of the past.
Well, look, Ian, I think you're making way too much out of this. It's just a coincidence, what you're trying to say, that Jews have like disproportionate power, whether it require you to marry into a Jewish family if you come in as a goyim, just so you can get that stamp of approval. That's all just a conspiracy theory. I mean, just because Biden's kids did it, just because Trump's kids had to do it, with Ivanka marrying Jared Kushner, or even Biden's kids marrying into Jewish families as well, including Elon Musk's, having to have multiple Jewish baby mamas, so all his kids could essentially be Jewish as well. I think you're reading way too much into this, and the fact that he's been endorsed by the Jewish community, they're trying to install him in power by this attempted regime change that's failed. You're reading way too much into this, man. I don't know. Stop with these conspiracy theories. Come on.
Sorry,
She's an
I'm just a
anti-Semite.
diehard. Oh, the mute's crazy. Yeah, had to throw it out there, but no, I think it's probably rather
What's funny
telling.
is I talked that way and I didn't get muted once.
Yeah, but
Oh,
based off
all
what you're
praise
saying, though,
8200, and then the space will continue without the craziness.
based off what you're saying, though, Truth Teller, it seems like the Zios really think they got this one in the bag.
That's a sure
But
thing,
to
man.
answer your question, Ian, I watched a lot of like I was just trying to understand there was, and you know it's interesting. They played a lot of these on YouTube in the automatic feed about the Pahlavi family, and really they were allowing all of that to happen. They were very pro West, pro meaning like they didn't care about any of the expansionist ideals of Israel, and so whenever the Khomeini was put in, and whatever led to that is one thing, but that's when kind of the resistance started happening. But the previous administration, I mean, the monarchy, the king, they were having like big balls, like huge, just inviting everybody from the. Why is everybody laughing? I'm just curious. But yeah, so they
Let me
were
just jump
very
in really
pro-Israel.
quickly, my love, please. Guys, I'm putting something in the nest. Like, I'm not joking. When we say Tel Aviv is on fire, it's on fire. You can see the fire crew are on the scene to try to control the blazing fires after Iran's missile barrage. Cars are on fire. Everything's on fire. Have a look at that. Share it, retweet it. Sorry, Maze, jump in.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so I think that they were trying to. They were very pro Israel and pro, I guess, expansionist ideas. It seemed. Well, they definitely didn't do anything or push back against it. I'll just say that for sure.
Yeah, and that makes sense because that's exactly what the U.S. government and Netanyahu wants to put in charge now. They're trying to line these guys, these clowns, up to replace the current regime.
But you know what's crazy about that, Mofit, is like what a traitor you are to your own father. You know, because it's the same people that took him out. Like it's the same people that organized what was there now. So like, or you know what I mean? It was just for power over the oil and OPEC. Like they did that. Why would you? I don't know. It's just to me, it's a traitor.
Mind-boggling. It's truly mind-boggling.
There's another tweet I just put in the nest. Crazy scenes from Tel Aviv tonight. Tel Aviv is burning, baby, burning. It is on fire. Their cars, their buildings, their cushy lives on stolen land. It's all being set alight. Like what Simon said earlier, burn the settlements, burn the settlements. Well, the settlements are being burnt tonight. Iran is doing the job. And I've got something else, guys, I want to put in the list. I want to read it out first, actually. I think it's Khomeini. Let me have a look.
Hey, Khaleesi, just before you do that, because we've got so many people in the audience, when we're saying burn the settlements, we're referring about the buildings. People will manipulate this to try and say that we want to burn people. In Israel, everybody's got bunkers. And what they have done in Gaza is they destroyed people with civilians in the buildings. And they were in tents and they've been massacring people. And the civilian casualty has been an absolute disaster. The difference with what's happening in Tel Aviv right now is that these rockets are firstly hitting military targets, infrastructure targets, but when they're hitting buildings, everybody has a warning, everybody's going down in their bunker, and there's no civilians in those buildings. This is about, economically weakening and damaging infrastructure and burning bricks and mortar. And so nobody on this stage is advocating for burning civilians. After everything that has been seen after the last 650 days of a genocide in Gaza and burning children and burning civilians and massacring, women, men, and all that, you can't help but, want to see a little bit, just 0.01% of revenge by at least burning some of those buildings and taking down those buildings and helping the civilians, experience a fraction, but no one's calling for civilian casualties or civilian deaths.
Listen, Simon, I think that should be enough justification. And if they don't get it after that, then literally they can do one. Seriously, I mean, it's bricks and mortar. Basically, it's bricks and mortar, not human beings, right? And literally, if you go and steal someone's land and throw them out of their home and build your house on top of it, then your house, which is bricks and mortar, if that's being set alight, I have no problems with that. It shouldn't be on stolen land anyway. And that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about human beings. That's it. That's what Simon's trying trying to say it in a much more eloquent way, but I'm not feeling eloquent right now. Listen, there's breaking news in the nest. IDF spokesperson issues evacuation notice for Tehran area. The IDF issues, so they're going to fight back now. So there's another one. Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei, the terrorist Zionist entity must be dealt with forcefully. We will never compromise with the Zionists. I just have to keep up with the news, guys, because there's too much coming out and it gets backlogged. Simon, back to you. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. You said what I wanted to say, but in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I just see from Disclosed TV that Trump is not expected to speak tonight. The White House calls a lid. That was, yeah, Disclosed TV.
Okay, so we were all waiting for Trump to give an address. There was meant to be an address. I'm not sure how to interpret that, whether he was going to give an address and now something's happened, so therefore he's not giving an address, or whether there's just more important things to do, or we'll see. Truth, do you have any analysis on the last attack? And you're expecting 2,000 to come in the next round of strikes? If you're speaking truth, you're on mute. Okay, we're all glitching. We've got lots of problems with the mic, but we'll keep going through and we'll keep persisting.
This app is crazy. Okay, guys, I've got some more breaking news. The evacuation notice was for District 18, a densely populated area in southwest Tehran, home to around 420,000 people across 37.5 kilometers squared. This is, I put it in the nest, this is the IDF giving random warnings to Tehran to say, get out. This is mental. I see everyone connecting, Brother Mofit, Anti-NSA, Brother Hussein, Didi, Joa, Carl, Myron, Ibrahim, right? They're all connecting. We're the only people left here.
They haven't been on the space for a while. Well, Brother Morphic was just on the space.
Israel's size has actually shrank, and you can actually Google that in pretty much everywhere you want, and that's the fact. So don't come up here and just invent stuff. I would love to have a discussion with someone that is actually intelligence, and we can.
Every word is a lie.
No,
Every word is a lie.
Let's avoid the personal insults, please. I understand passions are high. I'm trying to be a
But you
co-host.
know that he is inventing
You know
stuff.
what? Look, voice. Let me just say, I miss being a speaker. I miss being a speaker because when I'm a speaker, I don't care. I can say whatever I want. I can't. I'm a co-host. I miss it. Let's avoid a personal insult. I get it. You know what, voice? When you host your space and I joined, you get it. You understand. Now,
I
but
hosted Mario Space. I know exactly what you're going through, man. I feel for you.
So let me ask this question to Stock Talk, just for a quick, because I think there's an economic point, and I want Stock Talk's points on this. I think people are underestimating because they're looking at the situation with Israel and the ballistic missiles, and I think people are analyzing it, and I think there's kind of this, and this is kind of more the military side, right, with the ballistic missiles and like lack of comprehension, or not just lack of exposure, because Iran does have a substantial amount of short-range ballistic missiles that haven't been touched by Israel, because simply put, why would Israel target them? They're not threatening Israel. Don't target them. I'm Israel. I don't care. But they're there. And so there is a threat against oil infrastructure in the GCC. There is a threat still of trying to close the Strait of Hormuz. There was only one IRGC naval base that was targeted. Iran has a lot more, and this is kind of something to say. So, Stock Talk, the question I have for you is, one, give me an overview of how have you seen the stock markets, how have you seen the price of oil, all that, just an immediate reaction, kind of what has occurred right now. So what are you seeing, how people are reacting to it? But number two, if Iran goes the extra step and saying, okay, regime stability, let's say, is at stake, we need to cause maximum amount of economic pain to the world economy, we're going to try to close the Strait of Hormuz. And that point, Stock Talk, what do you think the stock markets and the economy, the global economy, might respond to that?
Can I go after stock? Because I've been waiting here a minute.
Yeah, absolutely, Myron. After Stock Talk, you'll go straight afterward. Yes, I promise. Go ahead, Stock Talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward generally the way that these things operate in the markets. I mean, when you have risk to oil infrastructure like you do have in this conflict, you see oil markets rip. You saw that into the end of last week and early this week, and then you've seen them come back down as the markets have recalculated that risk. Look, I think the ultimate next course of action, the consensus course of action, if there is U.S. involvement, is purely aerial involvement. We joined the air campaign. We used B-2 bunker busters to destroy the Fodrow enrichment plant, which only U.S. weapons are capable of doing. And if that's the extent of our involvement, then the risk to oil infrastructure is actually quite low. Obviously, from a retaliatory standpoint, Iran can close access for imports and exports around Iranian controlled waters, which would affect the price of oil. But you're not talking about a disastrous consequence to the oil markets, even in that scenario, maybe $10 higher. So, yeah, the Iranians do have that power. They have the power to retaliate economically when it comes to oil prices globally. But it's very likely that OPEC would float that supply in that kind of scenario, and that you'd see a muted impact. I think that's why you saw oil prices come
Now,
back down.
let me ask you this immediate question, follow on. Sorry. So, one, there was conversation. I've seen this. And so, one, does this hurt?
It's SITREP. The US is going to close its embassy in Israel until Friday.
Oh,
Just
there you
so
go.
you
That's
know.
an interesting comment.
What's gonna happen with Huckabee? I thought he's gonna stand there with the flag
Well,
until
maybe
he's
he'll just
remaining.
text Trump directly as always. And then Trump will just release it to the world. Sorry, I thought that was hilarious. Stock talk. So here's my question for you. The
By
question
the
I
way,
have
I'm sorry,
is,
just a little bit. I spent a lot of time with Israel with Huckabee. We have some stories I could tell you.
hey, if you're able to share it, I'll go after. I'll go to you eventually, and you can share those stories. But Stock talk. My question to you directly is this a situation though that if you're looking at it from an economic point of view, oil market point of view, or whatever perspective? Is this a situation that maybe China is hurt more? Got it. The oil will go up around the world. It hurts everybody. But is there like in specific scenarios, because most of the Iranian oil goes directly to China, is this a situation where maybe even China suffers more economic damage compared to the United States, and the U.S. is saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we can absorb some of the pain, but China is going to absorb more. And maybe China's like, hey, Ayatollahs, it's time to go. We can't take this anymore. We have a larger demand for oil than the U.S.
China has a diverse enough oil import base that they can divert that supply. Iran can't choke China's energy supply
They just got
single-handedly.
Venezuela.
Not even,
Tell them about Venezuela.
yeah.
They just got
I mean,
that.
yeah, you can use South America as a divert. You can even use parts of Africa as a divert. You can use parts of Asia as a divert. There's plenty of oil supply out there. People
Well,
really,
the
really
Chinese are doing
overestimate.
fine with the Russians as well. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Absolutely,
The
clear
the
the
Russians
shadow
Russians
too.
in the
fleets.
back
The
pocket.
shadow
People
fleets.
really over magnify the importance of any single country to the global oil market. Really, the only faction that has any sort of unilateral control is OPEC, and that's because they price as a union, so they can affect markets pretty dramatically. But outside of them, I mean, not really. I mean, we could too if we made dramatic efforts to with our SPR, but we haven't done that
Okay,
in quite a long
wait.
time.
Stock talk. Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Is this a situation where Russia's pretty happy because the price of oil goes up? Now they can charge more for their oil because the prices of oils was going down. That
No,
hurts.
look, no. Look, the reality is we try to like encamp people on these sides, and maybe this isn't quite exclusively an economic point, but I mean, I'm an American, and I think when you look at these conflicts, I know a lot of people like to paint these with like broad moral or ethical brushes. I think it's naive and childish to do so. The world is a place where people live in nations. We have borders drawn, and the only logical lens by which to view geopolitics is which jersey are you wearing? And I'm wearing an American jersey. And so for me, the outlet I want, the outcome I want from this conflict is I don't want American blood to be spilled. However we get to that outcome, I don't care. If that involves strategic strikes on the enrichment facilities without a single American boot on the ground, okay. If that's the quickest way to end the conflict, then so be it. But I don't want to see a single American's blood be spilled in the Middle East again. And I think that it surprises me that Americans are so encamped on this issue.
Like you have to pick a team. Like you have to either be in favor of everything Israel does or in favor of Iran. Like that's such a stupid, childish position to take. If you're an American, you take a practical position on this. You say, how do you protect U.S. interests in the region? You don't want Iran to have a nuke. You also don't want American boots on the ground. What's the best way you get to that scenario? I don't know, because I don't have all the intelligence
So
report.
just
Let
to
me
argue your
We'll get there.
point, right?
right.
Would
Let
you
me
not
jump in here,
agree that
guys.
it's intellectually lazy to just take a black and white position on
I
something like
agree.
this?
Yes, it's intellectually lazy to just take a black and
Okay.
white position, but you
All right.
still have to
Let
wear a
me
jersey.
get in
You
here,
still
guys.
have to
Hey,
wear a
Listen,
jersey.
hey,
Wait. I
look,
want to
To an
get
extent,
Myron.
for
I want to
sure.
get Myron in there because
okay.
Myron has been
Can,
waiting.
look.
yeah,
I
give
got
me 1 second, Myron. I just want to respond to a point that Voice said that was just a complete fucking lie. She said that Israel was shrinking. They've taken the Golan Heights. They've leveled Gaza and they're stealing land in the West Bank. So her saying that Israel is shrinking is just complete bullshit. And I wanted to address that point before we go off on 500 different topics about oil and this, that, and the other.
So let me do this.
yeah.
Myron,
So
go ahead. Wait. Myron, after you, I want to go to monitor or Moonitor. Sorry if I mispronounced that. So Myron, go ahead.
Munida.
But here's my specific question for Myron, and then I'll let monitor answer to that. But Myron, my question to you is, like, I feel like look, I've had but before where I'm at now with Artorias and this, I was very involved in, I was in the U.S. military. I deployed. I've seen the how Iranian proxy networks and how Iran supported their affiliates and the attacks they did against American soldiers. Like, I know people who have been personally either injured or killed directly because of Iranian EFPs, right? And so, as an American, there's a part of me that's like, you supported guys that killed Americans. Why wouldn't then you say, as an American, say, wait a minute, we cannot support this anymore. Iran, you are a state sponsor of terror. You're a national security threat to the United States. We want you, the Ayatollahs or whatever you want to say. We want to ensure that you do not have nuclear weapons, or we want you overthrown. Why doesn't that resonate? And why wouldn't that resonate with the American people? Like, what is the argument you would say against that? Is it just a
Well,
no new war or whatever? Go
all
ahead,
right.
Myron.
there's a
So
difference between
what?
supporting them and not wanting to go to war. You don't just because you don't want to go to war with Iran does not mean you're
Okay.
supporting Iran. I think that's a very
Dan,
important
I
point.
want Myron to get
Let
involved.
me
He's
get in
been
here, man.
patiently
Let me
waiting.
get
Go
in
ahead,
here.
Myron.
So here's the thing, right? And please nobody interrupt me. I got like 10,000 plus people watching me live stream right now. So I'm going to go through this systematically and explain this. So please don't interrupt. I'm going to be very simple about this, okay? When it comes to my position, I don't want war. And on top of not wanting war, we need to understand how we got here in the first place. The reason why Iran is designated as one of our enemies is strictly because of our bad foreign policy, okay? The IRGC was labeled a terrorist organization in 2019 under Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who is a hardcore Zionist. And I think it's also important that people understand when these organizations are designated as terrorist organizations, who is the Secretary of State that makes them that way? If we look at Hamas, Madeleine Albright, a Jew, Zionist Jew. We look at Mike Pompeo, super hardcore Zionist, etc. So a lot of the problems that we have in the in the Middle East is because of our bad foreign policy, okay? Because we do things on the behalf of Israel, and Israel behaves in a reckless manner, disregarding safety and or human rights, because they know that the United States is going to back them, because we have a very powerful lobby here in the United States where they are able to pair politicians and get their whim accepted based on how they want. Now, here's the problem here, why they miscalculate. And I talked about this with Hussein quite a bit, but us attacking or us allowing Israel to attack them in the middle of negotiations was one of the biggest mistakes we could have done, because a once fractured government that was split between having diplomacy with the West versus not trusting the West have now united, and they're attacking Israel like crazy. And we're going to have to step in now and save them from their poor foreign policy. I also think it's important to have a little bit of common sense here. Iran is going to continue to enrich uranium because we ripped up the nuclear deal in 2018 when they were abiding by everything. That deal was pretty much on point. Obama and a bunch of others worked on it for years, okay? And they were working towards lowering down their uranium enrichment and going ahead and getting to a point where they could get the sanctions relieved.
So sorry,
what
Myron.
happened?
No. It's just me, like the co-host. I just want to expand on this. I just want to expand on
No,
this.
let me finish,
So
bro.
no,
You
I know
gotta let me
I'll
finish
let you
my
finish
point,
it,
bro.
but
You gotta let me finish your point. My
I
point.
will.
I'm
I
bringing
just
this a lot of listeners. I'm bringing this space a lot of listeners. Okay, I'm bringing a lot of
Yeah,
listeners. Let me
Myron,
finish my
look,
point.
guys, look,
Okay.
Oh, come
we're going to
on.
interrupt when we need to as
wait. No, no,
co-hosts.
Let
Myron,
me
Myron.
finish
You're
my
I'm
going to
not
point.
trying
listen
to
to
be
the co-hosts.
disrespectful.
Cheers, Myron.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to ask you to follow up on that.
Incredible.
So just 2 points. One, so you think that the Obama administration JCPOA was a win from a U.S. foreign policy and national security perspective, the JCPOA agreement that the Obama administration did. You think, Myron, that was a win?
I think going that route of diplomacy was better than what we have right now. That's what I think. And I think that we could have obviously avoided a lot of problems by making that happen, but we ripped up the nuclear deal. Why did we rip up the nuclear deal in 2018? By enormous pressure by who? Mike Pompeo, who later put the IRGC on the FTO
But
list, that
Pompeo's
same exact
not,
leader,
he's
as
not
well as,
Jewish, Myron. But that doesn't
hold
make
on,
sense.
dude.
Pompeo's not Jewish.
Let me finish my point, okay? Let me finish what I'm saying. So we ripped up the nuclear deal, okay? And then we went ahead and put them on the FTO list. Why did we do that? We did that because there was an enormous amount of pressure from the Zionist lobby and Netanyahu to go ahead and rip up that nuclear deal, which could have put us in a good position. And here's the other thing for everybody to say, oh, well, you know, that nuclear deal was shitty. Well, why did Trump try to replicate it again just now before they went ahead and backstabbed them during negotiations? So we literally enabled Israel, and we continue to enable Israel to do all the reckless foreign policy that gets them put into bad situations, and we have to rescue them. I also want to put this out there too. A big reason why we've had a lot of the attacks in the United States, terrorist attacks, etc., it's because of our foreign policy in the Middle East. The whole neocon comment of, oh yeah, they hate us because of our freedoms or whatever, that's a fucking lie. The Middle East does not care about the United States. They only care that we support Israel and allow and enable Israel to do all the bullshit that they do in the Middle East. Every single country in the Middle East has been attacked by Israel because they know that we are backing them and they have a problem.
They call you infidels.
Israel cannot
wait.
be.
Hold on. I'm going to mute because everybody's going to jump in. Let me ask Myron a specific question, Myron, because I want you to address this. And I want, after you answer this, I'm going to go straight to Mona Church so she can answer. But Myron, my question for you is, so I think you would agree that Al-Qaeda is a threat to the United States, right? I think you would agree with that. Now, U.S. intelligence has shown and claimed, and it's, you know, a lot of the key Al-Qaeda leadership is in Iran at the moment, right? Sefadin, who many maybe even suspect is the new Al-Qaeda leader after the killing of al-Zawahiri, is in Iran, right? And so the question that I have for you, Myron, is do you think then that Iran having key Al-Qaeda leaders in Iran is a direct national security threat to the United States that should be addressed? Or do you think, hey, let's try to get into an agreement with Iran and maybe address these other issues? Like, where would you fall within that spectrum? Myron, you have to unmute.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'm for diplomacy, man. I'm 100% for diplomacy. I don't think war is the way to go, and I don't think Iran poses a real military threat to the United States. They pose a military threat to Israel, and then Israel always tries to conflate their problems as ours is always Netanyahu does and says, oh, we're in the front lines.
How can you
If
be
we
for
don't
diplomacy if you keep blaming Israel for everything that happens in the world?
Wait, let Myron finish, please.
Let me finish my point, man. Let me finish my point. Like I said before, Israel almost always, whenever Netanyahu talks about Iran or these other proxies, he always says, we're on the front lines, we're fighting for you, blah, blah, blah. But what he doesn't admit is that if Israel wasn't there in the first place starting wars, there would be no problems. They are the ones that instigate the problems, and we have to go ahead and come in and clean it up. Now, as far as your comment about Al-Qaeda, well, here's the thing. I find this very interesting. So we're worried about an Al-Qaeda member, right, in Iran. Well, didn't Trump just shake the hand of a former Al-Qaeda member in Syria who we just put into power? Ahmed al-Shara, aka Mr. Jolani. So let's be very honest here, because the reality
Well, hang
is,
on, Myron. Where's the evidence that we put Jelani in power?
Are you serious? After the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, there was an attack conducted by the rebels, and they went in, they took over Aleppo, and then they worked their way down
Rebels
and took
that
over
were
Damascus.
against America.
No, Jolani led the fight in Syria to destabilize Assad.
Yes, which was backed by the Turks, which would not be endorsed by the Americans.
And no, it was
Not sure what
absolutely
you're
backed by
saying
the
there.
Americans. Oh, no, it was backed by the Americans and also backed by the Israelis, because the day after the ceasefire, not even 24 hours later, the rebels conducted their attack and they took Syria within 3 weeks. So it was 100% coordinated. And then after it was taken,
that's not fact, mate. That's your speculation. That suits your
that's the
narrative.
truth.
Sorry, but there's no
That is
facts
the
to
truth.
go and put back on what
After
you're
the
saying, mate.
ceasefire, hold on. After the ceasefire between Israel, the IDF and Hezbollah, within 24 hours, there was an attack by the rebels in Syria. They systematically took over Syria within 3 weeks and ran Bashar
Yes,
al-Assad
mate,
out of
which
there.
was in the
And
planning for about half a year, if not more, and the Turkish were backing. But there's no evidence to
yes.
suggest that the Americans were involved nor knew about it.
Oh,
So what
really?
you're
Okay,
saying
so
is
Trump
not
didn't
true.
just
It's
go to
just
Syria.
what you
Hold on.
prefer.
Trump didn't just go to the Middle East and shake al-Shara's hand and relieve the sanctions. Syria is not allowing Israel to use their airspace right now. You're telling me that that's just a coincidence?
Myron, what are you talking about? He got a
Well,
Qatari
yes,
jet.
actually,
He
it
got a
may well have
Qatari
been.
jet. They gave him a big jet. Of course he did, dude.
Okay.
For if you gave him a jet, he'd
No,
do it, shake anybody's hand.
no.
It's Trump.
No,
Come on.
it wasn't Syria that gave him the jet, though. That's the point.
But
Yeah,
Myron, wouldn't that
it was
indicate
because
if
You guys don't know your facts. This is comical.
no,
This is
but
comical to me.
Qatar
No,
is
let me
Myron,
heavily
you're just
invested in
using
Syria.
selective information to suit your
And here's the
narrative.
other thing too I want to say.
You're
did you hear
Syria,
you're
Myron?
hold on,
deliberately
Did you hear Trump's
conflating
speech that
here's
opinions with
another thing
relied
too.
facts.
MS?
That's not true, nor is it
Hold on. This is
reasonable.
funny to me because the other thing that's also interesting that people need to understand about Mr. Jolani, aka Ahmed al-Shara, who's a former Al-Qaeda member, by the way, okay? He, as soon as he got into power, he kicked all the IRGC people out. He got rid of the acts of resistance. He pretty much stopped it. This is why Hezbollah's been weakened and they haven't been able to restock on their supplies. So al-Shara is absolutely an ally, not just of the United States, but of Israel as well. That is why Trump is relieving sanctions off of Syria. I mean, this is comical that you guys don't even know this and you don't think that it was planned.
Do
None
you
of
know
us
what
know, mate.
Assad
It's
did?
just that you assume that that's the case.
We're not talking about
You're
Assad.
being
Yeah, but you
selective
know what
between
he did,
truth,
Myron, right? You
objective
know the
truth, and
history because you know
subjective
it all.
I'm
truth.
not here to defend Assad. I'm here to tell you that Assad was taken out of power by the West. That's what I'm arguing.
I mean,
Yeah,
If the
but
West
there is
wanted
nothing to
to,
back him
Assad
okay,
up.
would
wait,
have
wait, hold
fallen
on,
earlier.
Let me do this. Vladimir, I'm going to go to you in a second. Let me just go to Muniger just for a second, just to answer these specific point of mine because I did promise her I was going to go to her. But I mean, look, Myron brings up a good point, right? Let's be real. We've all agreed upon this. I think this is a universal consensus that it's kind of ironic that the fall of Bashar al-Assad was in many ways a death blow to the axis of resistance. It was maybe not a death blow, but a significant loss of the axis of resistance, right? And so, is this a scenario where Jelani Al-Sarraj is saying, "Hey, I know where the winds are changing. I know what's going on. He was the leader of Jabhat al-Nusra, and that was the Al Qaeda affiliate back in the day in Syria. He claims that he disengaged with it. He's now in negotiations with the United States. The Syrian transitional government is interested in having a deal with Israel, or at least to kind of stop the Israeli strikes against Syria. But there is a point that the loss of Bashar al-Assad, it was a huge loss for Iran and maybe enabled Israel to conduct strikes into Iran and what we're
Yeah,
seeing
but
right now.
Erdogan smelled blood from the IRGC as the war started, and I think this is why he decided to put him in place. If you listen to Erdogan's speech, like speeches in the past half a year, you can see that this is exactly was his aspiration, Sitrap.
Munitor, go ahead.
Awesome. Mic check.
Perfect.
All right, thank you guys. So a couple of false claims were made over here, and I'm just going to address them really quickly because there's not.
That was my bad. Munitor, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. So there was not. Is the second one going to come? I'm going to wait for that if anything, but not, I guess. All right. So when it comes to Dan, which he's no longer here, when Voice brought up the point that the regime in Iran is dangerous also for United States, they attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. This is on DOJ's website. Just go check it out. Like, these are all facts, guys. And then Department of Justice put this statement out there last year that they attempted to assassinate him on American soils. And the Iranian media has also put out videos of assassinating him on literally his golf course. So these are all facts out there. People can definitely go check it out. But when it comes to the Islamic Republic, which Myron over here was saying that it's because of Israel that they started this. No, up until 1979, Iran, under the Pahlavis dynasty, had a very neutral position when it comes to Israel. In fact, Iran was the only country in the Middle East that had a consulate/embassy of Israel in Iran. We had no issues with Israel prior to 1979. What happened is that since the inception of the Islamic Republic, their number one goal was jihad against imperialism, and these are Khomeini's quotes, guys, okay, which was the first leader of the Islamic Republic, okay? He declared jihad on imperialism of West and specifically United States of America, and he went to call them the big Satan, and he called Israel the little Satan. Now, when it comes to Israel, the position of the Islamic Republic of Iran since their inception was to wipe off Israel off the map. Like, these are all facts. They had a huge counter clock in the middle of Palestine Square in Tehran that was counting down for 25 years until the destruction of the state of Israel. And also, when it comes to Ahmed al-Shara and IRGC, Ahmed al-Shara didn't kick IRGC out. IRGC literally ran out of Syria because they're just incompetent, as you can see what's happening in their capital city in Tehran right now. We've seen these things before. We've seen Ismail Haniya getting eliminated by the Israelis in the capital city right beside the supreme leader. So they just show this is the display of IRGC's incompetence. So when it comes to Myron, just maybe it's for his show, I don't know, it's for his listeners, but please use facts. The Islamic Republic in Iran, since their inception, they have vowed to wipe Israel off the map, and
May I respond?
that's when everything started. Thank you.
May I respond? Okay. So I find it very interesting that you said that Mohammed al-Shara didn't kick the IRGC out. They ran away. Same exact effect. They just knew that they weren't welcome there and they left. That's my point. That's number one. Number two.
That's what Khamenei said. No. In the words of Khamenei, he said they closed the air and they closed the land to us. That's why we left.
Okay, sure. Anyway, the point is that the
That's
IRGC
the supreme leader. I don't know. Maybe you know more than him.
Bottom line, okay, because I let you speak, so let me respond here. The bottom line here is I'm still correct. The IRGC is no longer effective there, and the acts of resistance has been significantly weakened. That is my bottom line. Next thing you mentioned, you talked about the 1979 revolution. Let's talk about how that revolution even happened. Let's talk about Operation Ajax. Let's talk about the United States and Great Britain going ahead and destabilizing Iran and kicking out their democratically elected prime minister back then.
That's 1953. It has nothing to do with 1979.
Hold on.
He was not democratically elected. He was appointed by the king of Iran. So please,
you need to
get your facts right.
Wait.
You need to be quiet when I'm talking. I let you speak. Now let me finish what the fuck I'm saying.
Let Myron finish
again.
Language.
You got to control your emotions, okay? If you got to make a sandwich, calm yourself down. That's fine.
Myron.
Anyway,
Myron.
No, because I'm not going to be disrespectful.
This is not your.
Okay. I'm muting everybody. I understand passions are high. Monitor, let her finish. Myron, don't cross the line. I'm just going to leave it at that. Myron, go ahead.
Yeah, she keeps interrupting when I let her finish her point. But anyway, what I was saying was we need to go back and understand that the United States, Great Britain, and Israel have been working to destabilize Iran for a very long time. And that's how we got to that revolution in the first place back in 1979. And also something interesting that you mentioned, that they promised to destroy Israel. Fantastic. Why should the United States be involved? That's my point. We don't need to fight their wars. My position on this is
U.S. is not involved.
Hold on. Let me finish my point, lady. Okay? The bottom line is this. I don't want to give money, resources, aid, or cover at the UN to Israel anymore. I want America to focus on America, and I'm tired of fighting foreign wars for Israel. If you guys want to go ahead and start problems with Iran, etc., that's your fucking problem. And you said earlier, oh, well, they promised to destroy Israel, Iran. Cool. Let them fight it out. We don't need to get involved. That is my position. I do not want to assist Israel.
Can I just say
one
sentence to that?
Just one more fact.
Hold on. Let me ask a follow-up question to Myron specifically, but I think
bit of news,
I thought I could have a sentence, please.
Guys, bit of news. Thank you. Interesting debate, I will admit. I don't want any sexism, no, thank you. Distinctively possible, this comes from most technical, that the Israeli Air Force is about to hit the Iranian munition bunkers at Mehrabad International Airport. So keep a lookout for a very large series of explosions in a bit. That's coming from the IDF's channel, which they've just posted, and sort of have highlighted a specific part. It says immediate warning to employees as well as all people located in District 18. In the coming hours, we will be operating on these sorts of things. So yeah, basically around the airport. So if you're doing OSINT type of work, then keep a lookout for that. I'll pass you back to Sitrep for
Yeah.
Can I
the
just say
drama.
one sentence to Myron before we lose the track of
And
what?
Sid, can I jump in after
Okay, well,
Voice and
I do
Monitor?
want to go.
No, it was
Wait,
my
hold on. I
turn.
know everybody wants to jump in. I
It's
understand.
one
We're going to
sentence, I
get continuing.
promise. One sentence, one thing.
One
You don't
sentence.
want to
Say
give
it.
don't want to give money to Israel, and I get it. Why is your government giving $400 million dollars yearly to Pakistan? Why are they giving 250 to 500 million to Iraq? Why do they give 1.3 billion to Egypt? These are countries
Okay,
that
I
are
got to jump in with breaking news. I got to send Iran State TV. Hold on, this is good for my app. Iran State TV announced the country will soon close the Straits of Hormuz.
All right.
That,
So if I can get this in, so when it comes to
Well,
JCPOA, Myron again
can I
made a
respond to your
made
question?
made a
okay, no, wait. Sorry, please. I know everybody. Moon, I'll go right back to you. Just give me a second, Myron. I'll go right to you in a second. I want to go. There's one speaker who hasn't spoke, who's had his hand up patiently and respectfully. Ali, cut him. Ali, I'll let you give your points, please. I have no idea what you're here. Please talk whatever you want, and we'll get the conversation going. Go ahead, Ali.
Thank you so much for giving me the space. Let's begin with Myron. Myron, I think for a guy who has no idea on the facts, on the history of this whole conflict, you need to be a bit more humble on speaking publicly on so many things and actually meaning nothing of it. Saying that Iran had the Ahmad project, they had the Kavir project in the early 2000s, late 90s. They were building atomic device carrier, and the documents are there. They have been stolen by Israel a few years ago, and there are also documentations by the IEA that Iran was not actually following the JCPOA merits. They were not respecting the agreement, and saying that there is actually no single international treaty with the Iranian regime, with the West, that has actually been honored. So the real question is, what is the point of diplomacy with the regime that even doesn't honor international law and it doesn't honor its treaties? And I have the next point. The IRGC has been actively hunting and killing US service members and other foreign service members in different countries, in Lebanon, in Argentina, and so many assassinations in Europe, the attempted assassinations in the US. There are so many cases. And all that said, we also have to look at the current situation in Iran. The regime has locked down the internet mostly. It's only internal internet that is accessible, foreign internet, and you have to understand they have built this huge system of internet surveillance that they don't let people access foreign DNS servers just because they don't want people to be informed. And this is a currently the biggest problem for the people because they don't have information, and they might get in a situation that they are not informed about the bombings that the IDF are informing about. And
can I respond to this guy?
Yeah. So what I want to
No, it was
do
my turn. It was
is,
my turn. Just
Yes.
quickly, and
yeah.
then
So what we're
Myron
going
can.
to do is, since
Myron.
Ali addressed
Oh my God.
Myron, we're going to
Okay.
go to Myron, and then we're going to go to Munita, and then I do want to hear from Zara as
But
well,
Byron,
who's been someone in
Byron,
the
before
debate
you
Maybe
Tom
he
will
can
go,
talk as
respond
well,
to me
mate.
too. Two sentences.
yeah.
Maybe he can respond to me too. Okay, but since we're talking about JCPOA, Myron brought up the fact that Israeli lobbies are very powerful in the state. But when it comes to JCPOA, it was actually it was the battle of lobbies, and Iranian lobby was the winner of that battle, and that deal was a deal that benefited the Iranian regime, and hence Trump exited from it. And who is that lobby? It's National Iranian American Council, aka NIAC, which lost their reputation after Trump exited from the deal.
So
Thank you.
Myron, before you answer though, I want you to answer that. But Myron, the specific point, because one thing Moon brought up is a good point, is during the Biden administration in 2024, it's important to highlight this again. Biden, the guy who tried to indict Trump, throw him in jail, what all the guys say, the Biden administration released an indictment saying clearly Iran, they have people in jail waiting prison saying Iran hired them to assassinate President Trump in response because President Trump assassinated General Soleimani, right? So it's kind of in this situation like, I mean, it's kind of, do you know the Dave Chappelle back in 2000, like in the 2000s, the first series, when he said he tried to kill my father, the Black Bush? Like, Iran really maybe shot themselves in the foot when there's an active plan to assassinate a presidential candidate, and now that presidential candidate is the president of the United States. So why wouldn't Trump then say, you try to assassinate me, I'm going after you?
All right, number one, the false flags are real. Israel has been caught doing false flags a million times, but I'm not even going to go down that road of having a conspiracy theory. What I will say is we just need to understand why we're in the position that we're in. And the reason why we're in that position is because I think it's important to understand why your enemy dislikes you and figure out if you can rectify that situation. The reason why Iran doesn't like us is because bad foreign policy that's led by Israel, where we have a very powerful lobby back here that ensures that we do what's best for Israel. Like I said before, he tried to rip up the nuclear deal. Some of you guys are saying that nuclear deal wasn't good in the first place. If that nuclear deal wasn't so good, why was he trying to replicate it now during negotiations if it was so bad? That's number one. Now, also,
it was bad for the regime, not America.
Yo,
Okay, Munita, look, we're gonna. I'm gonna be quite firm here, Munita. You need to stop interrupting. It's pissing people off, and I want to listen to Myron's points. I know, I like you, Munita, but seriously, let Myron finish his point,
incredible,
and then we can continue this in a more civilized manner. All right?
Yeah.
Myron.
So like I was saying before, I think it's very important to understand why your enemies hate you. And like I said before, these assassination attempts, if they're actually assassination attempts, are basically come from our foreign policy with Israel. That's number one. Number two, she mentioned something about us giving a bunch of aid to Pakistan or whatever, 200 million, whatever. Well, guess what? We gave Israel 12 billion. Okay. Israel gets a significant amount of support from us. And not only that, we support them in the UN. Like, for example, when Netanyahu going ahead and getting indicted for war crimes, what do? We run cover for him at the UN. We give them a bunch of money when it comes to military aid. We gave them the THAAD. We give them a significant amount of aid to the point where if the United States did not help Israel, Israel would be taken over within days, okay? We are the only reason that Israel exists, so we give them a significant amount of support. And not only do we give them a significant amount of support, they have an entire lobby organization, not just AIPAC, but hundreds of others that might not be declared, and they don't have to register under FARA, and they're giving so much money over. On top of that, we have a bunch of Zionists that are in powerful positions in tech, finance, banking, Hollywood, etc., that also wildly lobby for the United States to be involved. Why did Bill Ackman, literally a couple of days ago, say, oh, we need to get involved and help out Israel, blah, blah, blah? We have a very powerful lobby here that supports Israel. So for you to sit there and try to conflate our aid to Pakistan as the same as Israel, that's comical at best. And someone else asked me something about the JCPOA or something like that. That deal was good. For those that think that the deal wasn't good, why is it that Trump was trying to replicate it? He was literally trying to replicate the exact same deal that Obama had in place. I think that was.
This is why they collapsed.
So wait. Let me do this. Voice, I want you to address Myron's point specifically, Voice. Why the JCPOA, from your perspective, was a terrible deal. Why do you think it was a terrible deal? Because Trump did do a lot of things to basically replicate it in that aspect. So go ahead, Voice.
It's identical.
No, I believe that he didn't, and this is the reason why the talks were collapsing, Myron, because he demanded.
It's not identical.
It's not identical. They demanded that. Trump demanded that they drop completely the enrichment of uranium, and that they are not allowed to enrich it on Iranian soil. This is totally different than the previous agreements that they had with Biden, which they, by the way, violated constantly. I mean, this is the IAEA. This is not Israel or any Zionist lobby saying this kind of stuff.
You know, I find it really interesting that we're talking about Iran's nuclear program and being critical of it and them being able to enrich uranium, which, by the way, they have the right to do it because of their sovereignty. Many other countries.
Not if they chant death to America, they don't.
Hold on, lady. Hold on. Okay. Many countries are threshold states. Many countries have a nuclear program where they're enriching uranium. Like there's Japan, there's Brazil. Many countries have this program, and it's allowed by international law. Here's the other thing too. I find extremely interesting.
Myron, sorry, mate. I'm going to have to correct you on one point, and then I'll let you go on. Iran is part of the NPT, which means that they are not supposed to get nuclear weapons. So what you're saying is not strictly true.
No.
They've
I'm saying
partially signed
every
some of their
country.
sovereignty over to the NPT, which if they
Okay,
want to withdraw from it, then they can do so. But that sends a dangerous
yeah,
precedent and makes them look irresponsible and reckless. So they're not going to do that. So technically what they're doing is illegal under international law.
sure. And you want to know what else is illegal? Israel's fucking nuclear program too. And I don't see
This
any of
is
you
not
guys.
about a whataboutism, mate. No, don't move the
No.
goalpost to suit your narrative,
No.
mate. That's
Because
cheating.
let me explain why. The reason why this is a very pertinent fact, and it's not whataboutism, is because the entire reason we are in
No,
this
I'm
conflict
gonna
is
get
because of
involved now. Let's do a little bit back and forth, you and me, mate. You said about the Iranian nuclear program, and then I give you a counterpoint. So you move the goalpost to talk about Israel's illegal war and deny use of preemptive strikes to invade. Now there is a good amount of debate under international law about whether or not what Israel did on Thursday is legal or not. I'm still on the fence about it, to be honest with you. But technically speaking, if you're going to start talking about Israel's actions, then I can start talking about another whole different type of topics. Okay, so if you're going to keep moving the goalposts to make your argument, then that's not a really great argument. Okay, so let's try and keep it on track. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going off the rails at this point. Yeah.
Number one, this isn't whataboutism, okay? Because that's an extremely important fact. Because the whole reason we're involved in this conflict is because of Iran's nuclear weapons program that Israel is terrified of. And like I said before, I find it interesting that a country that illegally has nuclear weapons, that stole uranium from the United States, and still to this day won't acknowledge their nuclear program, because if they do, they wouldn't be getting foreign aid from the United States based on a law from the 1970s. I find it interesting that the pot is trying to call the kettle black and say, you can't have nuclear weapons, when one of these countries is actually committing a genocide right now as we speak, and is trying to tell Iran that they can't have nuclear weapons to defend themselves from another nuclear power. So the reality is, when it comes to a country's sovereignty and the right to defend
Myron,
themselves, if we're going to
Trump
sit
said
here,
they cannot have nuclear weapons.
dude, you
America
got to be
said it.
quiet. You got to be fucking quiet when I'm talking, man. I'm doing you guys a fucking favor being in this space, being honest. Got 10,000 plus people watching me on fucking all
Okay,
the.
Myron, I'm not particularly interested in sort of
All right,
like
man.
I don't
bigging
think
yourself up,
I
bro. Like
really
we've
don't
all
care
got
about your
listeners and we've all
10,000
got
people,
followers
dude.
and we've all got
No, you don't.
capabilities. Okay, either talk to the topics or like listen to other people. I'm not particularly
Can I
interested.
jump in, Piotr, here? Because
Oh, where'd he go? Did he leave?
he's left, obviously. Can I just jump in?
Wow, that's
Two,
pathetic. Okay,
I
anyway,
promise not to
all I
Way
was
to
speak
going
more
to
go,
than
say
two
is that
Piotr.
I
minutes.
don't disagree with him.
Well done,
Israel
Piotr.
isn't part of the NPTP either, and it does also have its own issues concerning the international law system. But he's so hot on it, he doesn't want to listen. Anyway, sorry, Hussein, go for it, mate.
Right, I just want to say something, or cut two things. First of all, about the Shah in 1979 and Iran becoming death to America and this. The reason the Shah had a relationship with Israel is because the Shah has been America's man since 1953. They put him in place, they put him in power, and that is why he had a relationship with Israel. It wasn't an amazing relationship, but he had it. So don't think to yourself like everything was great with Israel. It really wasn't for the Iranian people. It was for the Shah. Um, the other thing I want to say, and I'm going to leave this evening and after this, is I want you to understand as an Iranian, when Iranians say death to America, when Iranians say death to Israel, okay, this is not directed at the American people, and it's not directed at Jewish people. It's directed at your government. Your government is the thing that is causing mayhem in Iran. Iran was sanctioned to hell and back by America. That is why it's death to America. And and I've got family from America. My nephew Sam, my sister Parry, they all live in America. And Iranians always welcome Americans. We don't have a problem with them. The only people we have a problem with is the foreign policy that you've got towards the region, which
Okay, guys, I'm shutting it down. These things are starting to get out of control, and on top of it, um, you know, nothing seems to be happening. I think this is all a joke. There's a barrage of missiles, and all of a sudden it stops, and then people just start talking and coming up with ridiculous stuff. So I appreciate you all watching, those of you on X especially. And I'll come back on again if there's missiles flying, but other than that, listening to these people talk about, just kind of useless stuff, it just doesn't make sense to continue. So I will catch you all tomorrow, and thanks for watching, and see you soon.